Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could remain standing and, as we always do, and remember our men and women in the armed forces, those serving and those not with us any longer. And also locally Barbara Anderson, Joyce Adams, Denise Sarah Ross, James Wallace, and Anna Remus. Thank you. I'll open the meeting with a public hearing on housing choice vouchers. We have with us two folks that have driven down from Saratoga. And as I said, this is a public hearing. I would, Alicia?
Yes.
We spoke briefly. I would like you to, briefly, if you can, if there's questions, that's fine too, that's what this is, a public hearing. But I'm very interested in the family self-sufficiency,
Yes.
because that's just a win for everyone. A win, obviously, for the program, but and I'm actually sure you personally. It has to be. Yeah.
Yes.
And but the big win is for the individual who's on this assistance. So just give us where you right now are with the folks that you deal with here in Highland Falls
Yes.
with that program.
Sure. So Family Self-Sufficiency is a program that is a voluntary program for people that only receive Section 8. So let me rephrase that receive Section 8 only. They cannot not receive Section 8. They have to get Section 8 to participate in my program. I enroll individuals to assist them in reaching goals for them and their families. Right now I have 24 families in the program. And one of the best perks of the program is that when they raise their household earned income, so through wages from work or a job that they have, then their rent goes up because of that, because it's on like a scale system for Section 8. When your income for the household goes up, then your rent goes up. But what we do is we take the difference between the old rent and the new rental amount. A portion of that goes into a savings account, and they can use that money to work on their goals. So we assist people with transportation. I have a lot of participants that are going back to get their high school diplomas and move further in education. And I'm here to help with community resources. If anybody needs help applying for SNAP benefits or for Medicaid or anything like that, I'm here to kind of assist them and be a nice added level of support for them. Plus our office is all the way in Saratoga, so it's nice for me to come down here and visit with people. I actually meet them right here. Love the Senior Center. Thank you for having us. And it's an awesome experience for me too, because I've never learned so many like real life skills from a program that I've worked for before. We're helping people fix their credit, learn more about how to raise their credit. People can actually own their own home through Section 8. Section 8 will assist them with a mortgage instead of the voucher for 15 to 30 years. So it's a program that really does do what we say we're gonna do, help people, so. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again,
You said 24 families here?
Yeah, right in Highland, Highland Falls. So there's actually
No, that's what it's about.
There's 63 vouchers in Highland Falls right now through our program. And so I have 25 spots right now, I'm down one. So I get to recruit somebody new and help somebody new out. So that's exciting. And yes, I come down once a month to visit with people here.
So we're still within the public hearing. Any more questions, comments? Yes.
Did you say 15 to 30 years they'll get
I
assistance
did.
with it?
I know, it's amazing.
No, I don't think that's good. I'm on the other side of the coin as being a taxpayer. That's a long time to be having equity in somebody's house, you know, that somebody's assisting with. And I think many people would agree.
So the plan of the program, I'm Nancy Williams, I am the Family Self-Sufficiency Program Director as well as the Homeownership Coordinator. So the plan of the homeownership program is really the recognition that families moving out of poverty do better when there's an asset building model in play. And basically, what that says is that families can weather changes in economic status better when they are well-resourced. So if you have a decent car and you are able to get a decent job, you are able to maintain your employment. If you have a car that needs repairs every week and you're missing work, you're likely to lose your job. So we recognize that having stable assets also helps people move out of poverty and, more importantly, stay out of poverty when they're on that pathway. So the purpose of the homeownership program is to recognize that while families may need some help with mortgage, ultimately, we've had one homeowner here in Highland Falls, they utilized the voucher for less than a year post-closing on their home. Because they're not going to qualify for a mortgage, they're not going to be able to do the maintenance on a house or the upkeep on a house unless they're increasing their earned income. The only time the family would get assistance beyond 15 years for 30 years is if they're a disabled head of household, and they would likely stay on the voucher program for that length of time anyway, because our elderly and disabled tenants don't move off the program on a regular basis. What we know is that folks with earned income and folks that are employed are far more likely to move through the program and then move off the program economically as they increase their household wages. So it's an asset building model.
Where can you read about that online?
It's on the HUD website.
HUD website?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, just another question.
Sure.
With the HUD program, my daughter's in HUD badge. She works
Yep,
for
the veterans.
veterans.
Yep.
And they actually can price themselves out of the voucher with their earned income.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the HUD program is to give you a hand up.
Yes.
It's not to live on it the rest of your life. I'm glad you said the disabled people get it for 30 years. Other people, they pay, what, 30%
Yes.
of their
For this-
salary towards the rent? and HUD
Your
pays the
adjusted
rent.
household income.
So, when you're helping them with their car and helping them with this and helping with that, and do you encourage them to go get jobs and work so their income increases and the HUD portion decreases?
Absolutely, we were explaining to the mayor that part of this model in the Family Self-Sufficiency Program is really to help people understand, it's in part the escrow account that Alicia referenced, is to remove the disincentive for people to do well. So we know that the very rough calculation is that we take a calculation of 30% of the adjusted gross income of the household is used towards the cost of their housing. And then HUD makes up the difference between that and the fair market rate, which is set nationally in each community. And so that's the part that is the HAP, or Housing Assistance Payment Subsidy. As the household income increases, the HAP decreases. Any income will cause the HAP to go down. In the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, we focus on earned income because we know that folks with earned income are more likely to continue to decrease their dependence on Section 8 and to move to greater economic independence, ultimately.
It's supposed to be a helping hand.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be a lifelong welfare program.
Correct.
Yeah, my favorite example to use is how do you get to work if you can't pay for your car insurance, but how do you pay for the car insurance if you can't get to work? So we like to kind of swoop in and just kind of assist people with that one thing. This money is not going to reoccurring expenses, so we have a budget coordinator on staff and we have a credit coordinator on staff that kind of assist with those processes as well to make sure that people are staying on the right track.
We do a lot of financial literacy
Yeah,
in the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. It's really teaching people about how to manage their resources, and then about how, as Alicia said, repairing credit is a huge impact for folks. It reduces the cost to buy a car, it reduces the cost of car insurance, it reduces the cost of health insurance. So their credit score is incredibly important, and many people aren't aware of that when we take them into the program. So we spend a lot of time doing financial literacy to help them manage the resources that they have to work with.
Any further questions?
Yeah, just real quick. It's a HUD program, so I'm assuming it's most of, if not all, your money comes from federal dollars?
It's actually the village's program. So yes, the village has, you have an allocation for the entire program of $785,000. We have 63 vouchers that subsidizes in the village over the course of the 12-month allocation. And that number can adjust depending, again, on what that percentage is of the housing assistance payment.
That's $783.
Federal.
It's federal.
Yes,
It doesn't come from Orange County,
No. no, it comes from HUD.
the federal government.
Yep,
So the federal government sends it to New York State sends it to Orange County sends it to us.
This allocation is specifically for the village of Highland
I don't
Falls.
think it gets passed through the county.
It doesn't. It's the village's Section 8 program. There is another, Pathstone runs another program in Orange County, but the village has its own allocation for the village itself. And that's the program we're associated with.
And if all that money is not spent in the village, what
It is.
happens to the balance left over?
It's recaptured by
Back to
HUD.
us. Okay.
But I will tell you that we're very careful. If there's surplus, we'll increase the number of vouchers. We certainly wouldn't want that money to not be spent for families that need that assistance here in the village.
And if there's a deficit or it never gets to the
We
deficit?
would not allow that to happen.
Anything further? Now I'll close the public hearing.
The mayor has copies of the report that we've referenced for anyone who'd like one. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And just to follow up on the public hearing, I have a resolution to adopt Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program plan for 2020, whereas the Village of Highland Falls operates a Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher federal funded by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and whereas the Village of Highland Falls is required by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development to prepare and adopt a written PHA plan that establishes local policies for administration of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program in accordance with the regulations of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. And whereas the Village Board of the Village of Highland Falls has caused a written PHA plan to be prepared establishing local policies for administration of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program in accordance with the regulations of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and has received such written plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village Board of the Village of Highland Falls hereby adopts a 5-year plan starting in 2020 for operation of the Village of Highland Falls Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus. May I have roll call?
Trustee Allard,
Yes.
Trustee Livesey,
Aye.
Trustee Ramus,
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo,
Yeah.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, let me get rid of this here. Could we have approved the minutes from a regular meeting we had earlier this month on September the 3rd, 2019?
Motion. Second.
Motion by trustee Howard, seconded by trustee DeSalvo. May I have roll call?
Trustee Allard,
Aye.
Trustee Livesey,
Aye.
Trustee Ramus,
Abstain.
Trustee DeSalvo,
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, this is our second meeting of the month, which is a workshop. At our workshops, going off the previous administration, there's no public comment. But the ambulance corps has, well, they didn't ask me, but they're here, they want to speak. And so if you have one or two of you want to speak, now's the time.
Thank you, Mayor D'Onofrio.
Yep.
We were, the Fall Foliage Festival is the major fundraiser for the town of Highlands Indians. We don't do boot drops, we don't do, we do letters like every 3 years, we don't do it every year. And we were coming here tonight.
Chris, excuse me, could you stand over here so the camera?
My
That's
good
your-
side,
that's
my
your
good
good
side, the good side. We were coming here tonight to ask permission to renumber the spots on Main Street, on both sides of Main Street, because, we have the maps, we're not the only ones that do street fairs. We gladly give our vendor list plus the street people to fill in that. But I'm looking at Main Street today, and I'm looking at the calendar, and you got the sidewalks all torn up. And
Yeah, we do, Chris, you're right.
my understanding is that when we get done with this side, your contractor from the Bronx took almost a month to get from Cousins Avenue. I know.
You're making comments that aren't warranted, but go ahead.
Okay. So,
Go ahead.
I mean, I can see it's not gonna be done. There's 20 working days from now until the fall foliage, and you wanna do all the sidewalks down, but if you can get to Drew, we're fine. North of Drew, we don't need sidewalks. But, and then you said you're gonna do the other side, and then after all that's done, Central Hudson is gonna pave Main Street, or we're gonna pave Main Street after they put all the gas lines in.
Yeah, Central Hudson doesn't pave streets, they do gas lines.
Yeah, but I mean, after all the gas lines are done, the plan is for the village to have Main Street.
The main is done, go ahead.
Right, but so that's 20 days. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay, all right.
So,
I do, but go ahead.
you do?
Yeah, go ahead. When you're done, I'll correct or say what I need to say.
Okay, well then, if you think it's gonna be done, then we request permission to renumber the streets. So we want, and Joe, you've been doing this, I did it for 3 years before I was also involved, before.
I did, I bought the Fall Foliage Festival here. I did it with Stella Bailey and you,
Yeah.
for many, many years.
Yeah. And I mean, we go to different festivals, and you can see people with Cornwall one year. It looked like they had a 4th grade class come around with, if you're not gonna respond, would you please turn off your pagers, thank you. And your cell phone's on vibrate, thank you. I have mine on vibrate, not like this afternoon. It's like a 4th grade class with orange and yellow and big numbers. This is number 12, this is number, and
Okay.
again, we did it with duct tape years ago. If the duct tape stuck, you were lucky, but if it did stick, it was there for 4 years. So, now, if you could give me your answer on,
So the village's position, and I believe it stays, is that we're not painting the curbs. I have asked so many folks over the last 2 days, and their mouths almost dropped. And I know that some other folks here have done the same thing. The sidewalks are on schedule, so let's correct that. Right now, the sidewalks are completed until you get by Navy Bank. Don Fonz is done. Navy Bank to the driveway of the IGA is now, the stone, old concrete is up, and they'll be pouring concrete this Friday, like they did the Friday before and the Friday before. Monday, barring weather, barring all that kind of stuff, the plan is that on Monday coming, they will start in front of the, and by the way, as you all know, there's a home game this Saturday, so the restaurants cannot be, they have to be left the way they are before we get in front of there. That's this Saturday. The next home game is in 2 weeks, so we'll definitely be done for the next home game. But, going back to the schedule, starting Monday, barring no issues, they'll start in front of the Park Restaurant and go to Shades, corner of Drew. The end of next week, barring no issues, they'll concrete. So that's, and then after that, it has no concern to the Fall Foliage Festival.
absolutely.
Okay, so I see it working. That's number one. Number two, paving. Paving, when this was all over the summer, the schedule was all done. The schedule was for the first week in October, we were going to pave Main Street from Fairgate to Mountain Avenue. And so everyone knows when that does start, Main Street will be one way heading south until it's done. It's going to take 2 to 3 days to mill and then 2 days to pave. while I can sit here and almost guarantee up to shades will be done, the sidewalks, I can't sit here at this point, I might have a month ago, and guarantee you that the paving will be done. But if the paving, if I see that it's not going to be done by October 19th, it won't get done until after October 19th. So you're either going to have a whole new road or an old road. That's how I see it. As far as Cornwall, I also contacted,
One quick thing, Mr. Mayor, and then you can elaborate on this. We have a problem too with Verizon and Spectrum. There's a piece of the sidewalk out there that we cannot put concrete in
I know.
because they're not moving their pole. I mean, moving on to the new pole that O&R put in. So, you know, there are some things that, you know, are controlled through bridge. And I would ask anybody in the public to contact Spectrum and Verizon and let them know that our revitalization of Main Street is being held up by them not coming down and transferring their wires onto the new poles. Thank you.
so I don't know about Cornwall, like you said, maybe they really did have fourth graders or second graders. But I also called Cornwall. And I called Goshen. And I called Warwick. Warwick, the Apple Fest, the biggest festival probably in the Tri-County. They use chalk. They use chalk. They don't paint. They use chalk, period. They use chalk. Now, I think using chalk, these are opinions, because I did the duct tape and put it down, and then take a black magic marker and write number 22, and then the next piece of duct tape and write number 22, and then there's your 10-foot spot. I think chalk is easier, but that's my opinion. I think to write 22, the size of, half the size of that piece, half the size of that even. The vendors aren't blind. They can see. So my suggestion, the board's suggestion, is that you use chalk. As far as across the street on what I call the east side, those curbs, even if those curbs weren't being touched, you can't stencil them. They're gone. I have pictures here. I took them today.
We can renumber.
They're gone, Chris. There's no concrete in much of it. And there's no concrete in much of it. So you can't even renumber them. A lot of the areas. But at any rate, I suspect those curbs will not be done by the 19th. So you would never have across the street anyway as far as putting paint on those curbs.
A lot of them can be seen.
And a
It's
lot
not
of
the
them,
it's not the vendors that look at it anyways.
a lot of them can, but a lot can't.
Some can, no. Some
Okay.
can, but a lot can.
Now, there's also suggestions I heard all day long. We could lend you cones, traffic cones. I'm just saying what
I
I
know,
heard.
I know.
You know, I've heard the duct tape. The best one I've heard is chalk.
And
Okay,
That-
but to put paint on these brand new curbs,
on the front side, not on
Yeah,
the
I understand what you- I understand what
Like where
you-
they are now.
I understand.
However, chalk probably would be a good idea if you lived in Arizona where it didn't rain.
well,
Okay.
we
We've
have,
been out there, excuse me, we've been out there before on a Friday where, before the festival, where it's rained all weekend and it's pouring rain, we're trying to get that tape at that time to stick on the road as it's floating away, okay? What do you think chalk's not gonna,
I understand.
if we're promised beautiful weather for a whole week before, but the thing about the permanent numbers was it matched my permanent street map, which is, I know, I can tell you right now where space 41 and 42 are, just by looking at my street map.
I understand.
Because it never moves, it's never different, like it is every year. Every year you gotta renumber, and then hope you didn't miss a number, okay? And the spaces are in a different place all the time. Even if it's only 20 feet off, it's still in a different place. They're done, they're done neatly, they're on the front. I've asked many people, does anybody ever see these numbers? Like, what numbers? What are you talking about? You have to people learn to see the numbers. They don't pay attention to the numbers.
Marty, I'm not going to spend $350,000. Let me rephrase this. The board is not going to spend $350,000 which is what we're doing. And now have the sidewalks painted up. It's just not what we're gonna do. It's just not what we're gonna do. It's just not what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Now, I want to say one more thing. Did you have something? Go ahead.
But you go ahead, you go.
Okay. If help is needed, and Chris, I'll say this to you because you know this to be, compared to when we did it for years, decades, not years, what you have the luxury of having, because I see it, is volunteers. These folks. You have, well, you have more people. Well, okay, but you want to know something? Yeah, but here's the thing. If there weren't two guys over there, I don't know what. But listen, it's more than what we had.
Oh,
That's all I'm
absolutely.
saying.
But you know what?
But there's also a danger, this is why the biggest reason we went to a permanent number, so we didn't have to get out there and sit in that street for 3-4 hours on a Thursday night, then go back the next day to check to see if we're missing any, then go back on 5 o'clock on Saturday morning to make sure we're still not missing any, that a car didn't roll over them or whatever. I mean, it's not just because we want to paint, and they're done neatly, they're done in the front. I honestly, I just don't. We've already had approval for it. And I get you don't want to spend that kind of money. They're not defacing them at all.
Look, I would say, and I understand what you're saying, Mr. Mayor, that you spent $150,000. It's not graffiti.
No, I know it's not. But we're trying to.
I know we're trying to keep the place nice, and I get that.
And it's-
I clearly understand that, but this is something that's been done for 26 years.
Well, no, not the painting of
Over
curves.
20,
We
No,
have been.
no.
No.
I had the floor forks longer than the ambulance right now, and we never did.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 10 years, 10 years ago we started putting the numbers on.
I don't know.
But just, yeah, this is the 19th year that the ambulance corps is on. But, I mean, there's numerous solutions to it. I mean, it is our major fundraiser. After all expenses are done, we probably pick up.
Well, that's your business, that's your business.
No, but what I want to bring up is, we can cancel fall foliage. I mean, the village board gives money to Vision, maybe beautification, maybe the garden club, and the volunteer ambulance corps in this town and village, we provide a very good service, and maybe the village could put in their budget, a $2,500 donation to the volunteer ambulance corps.
Or better yet, much better than that, the town could, out of the Part A fund, and I know you understand the Part A fund. This way, everyone in the town of Highlands gives $25,000 to the ambulance corps, not just the village. I mean, you service the town of Highlands, isn't it? It's the town of Highlands ambulance corps. So if you want to ask government for money, I have no problem with that, but it really should be at a town board meeting. Correct?
Well,
Well, yeah, but you're the one, you're the people that are, I mean, I use the numbered spots on Main Street, because I memorize the numbers, and I know where the bus parking meter is.
Listen, we're not going to, listen, I don't mean to.
Can I, so you did say that there are solutions to the situation, right? We did speak about a couple of them tonight, whether it's chalk, and we know there's an issue with rain. We know that, right? Cones were offered, maybe that could.
no, I've been thinking
Maybe that's
the
a
same
help
way.
it on a rain day, okay? But what I am gonna say is, to paint them now, the paint's not gonna stick to the green concrete, all right? And you're gonna have to paint them next year again. That concrete is green out there that you're gonna paint that on. It's not gonna stick this year, so then you're gonna have to do it again. So
That's not gonna cure the no, because,
we didn't
you
say,
know.
let's look for some other solutions.
But Jimmy just brought up
The
a point.
concrete is green. Paint isn't gonna work this year. We understand your concern, okay? And we're gonna try to work with you on how we can, somehow, some way, whether it's chalk, the cone system, but please don't beat the board up if we can't paint.
I'm not cheating here up, I'm very disappointed that they're not supporting us in this way.
Hey, number one, Jimmy, and just this, we came before the board and asked permission to have the ball foliage. We came before the board and asked permission to have the music permit. and not at any
We never
time
have the
did
courtesy.
they say that, you
That
know,
this was
the
gonna be
road might
happening.
not be done, the sidewalks might not be done, nothing will be done, you know, and then all
Why
of a
would
sudden.
why would I say that when that's not the way it is?
We really anticipate being.
Why would I call you up and say the sidewalks aren't gonna be done?
No, there's a chance it could not be done. Well, I'm just saying, we didn't.
No, there's no chance
Joe,
that
we
it could be
didn't,
done.
oh, yes, there's always a chance.
Okay,
Well, I'm just saying, just as much chance that it's gonna rain if we use chalk, okay? So let's, you
okay,
know,
you're right, you're right.
yeah, I know, right?
It's
Don't,
better-
don't
It's better that you're
talk to me
right.
that way,
It's
Joe.
better, and look, anything else,
please don't talk
anything
that
else.
All I wanted was to have
Excuse-
some
wait a minute, wait a minute.
3-inch numbers put on the front, and that's it.
Okay, what'd you have?
The only thing that I want to say is that, and being a ambulance corps member myself, I support the ambulance corps 100%. Jeff, you probably know most about these sidewalks, what's going on right now, because you're walking through it every day when you go to the bus place. Today, after we had a conversation, today what I did is I walked Main Street to really get a good visual of what's going on out there with the sidewalks. Mr. Mayor, I hope they're done in the time that you expect.
I can almost guarantee you the shade, Jeff.
Okay, so, but the thing is, you never know. You never know what may happen, what they may run into, what the weather's going to do, you just don't know. So after walking this today, I mentioned at the last board meeting, what is the right time of doing the project of this, and when is the wrong time? When you do a project like this, you just have to do it. Some people aren't gonna like when you do it, some people are gonna love the time you do it. It just has to be done, and that's what's going on there right now. Between West Point football games, tourists, the fall foliage, restaurants complaining about business, there's a lot going on Main Street right now because of the sidewalks. But again, what's the right time and the wrong time? With walking the street today and walking down Main Street, I think lettering the sidewalks is a good idea. However, what is the proper style of the lettering that we should put? If there is going to be letter, what kind of paint should be used for the lettering if we do lettering? What's going to hold out the best? What's going to look the best? What size is the best? Where to put it? How to mark it? Where to start it from and end it? Is this going to always be the right area? These are things to be discussed and looked at before we're having a conversation like this. And now with the fall foliage right around the corner, and the other side, forget about the other side already, that's not going to be able to be done. I think waiting to be able to say, okay, all the sidewalks are complete now, everything is done, the blacktop's on the road, let's revisit this whole thing again now about lettering the sidewalks for events, not just the fall foliage. If perhaps there's another event that comes to menu in the Village of Common Falls, there may be another event. There may be another, who knows what could be going on where you're going to need something like that. And I think that's more of a discussion on a meeting, to be able to sit at a table like this and say, roll up our sleeves, let's try to figure this out. I don't think this is, because of the circumstance that's out there right now, this is going to happen like this. I think we better just make plans of what's plan B right now. To do right now, what is plan B, what's going to make everybody happy, and just move on from there. Because I really can't see, just in case something happens, how this could be done properly at all. That's my opinion.
Okay.
So-
But
No,
how about what you
okay.
call the east side? The east side looks like a demolition yard. I mean, at least the west side of the street, we can still put vendors because they didn't tear up the road.
Oh, no,
But
no,
on
no,
the
no.
other side of the street, they got their
No,
equipment.
no,
They got.
no, that's not gonna be there. I'm not leaving that there for the Fall Foliage Festival. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing for the Fall Foliage Festival, because I'm not, that's not gonna be there. I call those, that's a staging area. That staging area is not gonna be there. Oh, no, no way,
Okay.
no way. You know, and this is immaterial. But you don't know what it's like. I know, Jeff, you see me out here during the day.
Or
The
side.
the church didn't like it because there was a wedding. And they put God on me. You can laugh, but that's the truth.
Well, I got
Number
to
two,
do that.
let me, Chris, number two, the Navy Bank says, don't do our sidewalk Thursdays or Fridays or Saturdays. The tattoo shop says, don't do my sidewalk on Thursday, because that's my busy day. This is, I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I,
The one that I thought, the one business that I thought I would have complaints about, or issues, let's call them issues, was West Point Tourism. I don't know, Jeff, if you talk to other people, I haven't heard a word from West Point Tourism.
I talked to other people.
Okay, so
Has to be done.
where I thought there was an issue, there wasn't, and where I didn't think, I mean, all the way down, you get near these restaurants, you know, no good, there's no good there.
I can see two
So-
lines on
so-
Sunday and don't do it at all.
So this is not an easy task
Oh,
here.
no, we realize that.
Okay, so listen, anything you need from the village, you're gonna have your roadblocks. The chief is in the back. You're gonna have your trash receptacles like you always do. If you need, if it comes down to this, and I don't think you'd find another mayor that would throw this offer out at you, and I don't even think it's a big deal, that's why I'm doing it. If you use chalk, that's up to you guys, and you put it down 3, 4, 5 days before, and it rains, and it washes that chalk away, that you're gonna put on the road, not the curb. You're gonna put that on the blacktop. Whether it's new blacktop or old blacktop. Because 2 days later, the street sweeper's coming through. So it's not gonna be there anymore. So that's okay. But if you put those chalk numbers down, and it rains, and you need help, you get a hold of me, Chris. You get a hold of me. Or Jeff, you get a hold of me. And you'll have 2 village employees that'll help redo it, or whatever you want them to do. And that's the best I can do tonight. And I mean it. I mean it. All right? Thank you.
I
Thank
think that the engineer did tell me that all that we've done, our driveway, West Point's driveway where we park our vans, that block hasn't been done. He did tell me that that would be done, and that the paving and everything, because you're not going past Drew. Once you get past Drew, you're not doing.
Well, we're not gonna do this next block where the Christiana and the PenFed is. The new owner of that block, we're making him do it. But then we're gonna go up by Palella's and do north.
He told me exactly.
Yeah, that's
He said
true.
that paving, everything, the plan is for everything to be done. Our concern is what we can do for the 4 foot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right now, the only thing that the ambulance, that I don't know, and that you need to be, that I need to be conscious of to tell you, is will you have a new blacktop or the old blacktop that's there now? Either way, it doesn't matter to you, I'm sure. You know, I'll know soon. As soon as these days start chipping away, we get late September, which is soon. I'll know about the blacktop. But the sidewalk on this side will be done to shades, which is where you end or start, whatever way you're looking at it, and across the street will be all cleaned up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I want to say something to you guys, and I wanted to start with this. There's many times at a village board meeting that I and the board, and you're not in the audience, that we praise the town of Highlands Ambulance Corps.
We appreciate that.
I'm an old fireman, and I know how many calls we go on, and it's a lot. One is too many when you're sitting home and you're with your family. But you guys are 5 to 1. We do 100, you do 500. I'm just rounding numbers, and that's pretty accurate. I can't imagine 500. And plus, it's actually 500 plus. A volunteer, make no mistake about this, now I'm preaching to you. I mean, I don't need to preach to you guys. It's to the audience. To be a volunteer, whether it's in the ambulance corps, which is a tremendous commitment, much more than in the fire department. You're on duty, you're on duty. Doesn't matter if you're flipping hamburgers and you got a whole family. That thing goes off, you're gone. That comes from the heart. That comes from the heart. I know it. A volunteer's service is from the heart. You think with your heart. Not always the best thing to think with, but you guys are the best. There's nothing new tonight. I'm not trying to do anything here. I've said it a million times. Everyone knows this. So thank you. Thank you.
Just to let you
And
know.
please get back to me if you need anybody from my department. You'll have it.
Okay, just to let you know where those two guys went.
They went on a call.
They went on our 518th call this year.
Wait a minute, 518th call, and it's September the
In the
18th.
middle of September. Fourth call today.
Fourth call today. That's what I'm talking about. It's an amazing commitment. People don't understand it. I don't think that people understand it. People don't understand it. Thank you. Thank you. Those are just words. Thank you. That's all I can do. You need anything, you come to me. Thank you.
$2,500.
I go to the town. You know how I feel about that, Chris. Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Michelle. Michelle. Michelle is here. You're with M&R Energy Resources. And you're going to save us electricity money.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to come and speak to you. I'll give you the, each of you. This is, I'll give you this and I'll give you a little bit of the, this might be a different one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
The prices are constantly updated, so, I don't, you have the last bid, which was probably.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's, the natural gas and electricity prices are basically like mortgage rates, they change every single day. They're traded on the NYMEX, so it's a commodity and it's constantly changing, and these prices are completely determined by the amount of electricity that the Village of Highland Falls uses. And this kind of gives you a brief snapshot of, so you have approximately 734,000 kilowatt hours that you use each year. That's annually. And
Did you, may I ask, I'm assuming you did a inventory
yes,
of our bills.
yes, I sent them to someone here. I did this a few years ago. I think somebody actually reached out to me many years ago. You were buying from a company and you were paying just under 8 cents a kilowatt hour. And at that point, we came in, it was about 3 years ago or so, and we were able to reduce the amount that you were paying at that point. And a lot of it does have to do with the fact that the commodity dropped as well, but we basically bid this out and whoever comes back with the best price. So at that point, it was over $11,000 a year savings, the rate that you had compared to the rate that you signed 3 years ago. This time around, it's a little over 8,400 or almost 8,500, and that's a comparison of the rate you're paying now versus the new bid rate. I mean, it's part of it is luck because the commodity has dropped, so it's not all. I can't take credit for the fact that it's $8,500 lower. It really, it's again a lot like a commodity or more mortgage rates, and people seem to understand that a little bit better. The electric and natural gas market. I know I used to get my Central Hudson bill, and my background is banking, so I used to look at it and not understand it. But basically, you're paying for your supply, and you don't want to be out there on a month-to-month rate because it fluctuates every month. So municipalities lock in the rates.
How long is this locked in for?
That's your decision. I showed you, the lowest bidder was Constellation, and I showed you the three different options. There's 5.1 cents is 13 months, 5.256 is 25, and 36 is 05537. One of the reasons why you see a bump up so much from 25 to 36 is the closing of Indian Point. which I have some information I can leave with you. That's slated for 2021 to be taken
Can you just say
offline.
that again? Because of the,
I'm sorry.
just so everybody hears that.
It's the I know, it's a dreadful situation.
It is.
It's the closing
It
of
is.
Indian Point, yeah. It's not, that's a whole, that would take a few days of discussion, but I'm not a fan that it's closing because I think it's, you know, I shouldn't say that. I just am concerned that we don't have the resources to make up for the power that it generates. So I understand that I wouldn't want to live near it, but I think that you have to get your ducks in a row before you make a decision like that. So, and I'm not sure that we're seeing that. I mean, the goal is to go to renewable energy. It takes a lot of solar panels to make up for, you know, or a lot of windmills to make up for an Indian Point. So that's a discussion for another time. But you'll see that the contract that you had was at 5.9. This ZEC, which is the zero emissions credit and the renewable portfolio standard, was added to your rate by Governor Cuomo. So that's a line item on your electric bill, and it became an all-in rate of 6.4, and that is to pay for the closing of Indian Point and the energy that's going to be used to replace that. Basically, I mean, it's you know, it's a decision that they put in place. I mean, I guess it's not just the governor, but they put in place whoever makes that approval to have that line item on the electric bill so that you would, you know, you would now be paying that extra. Your new rates include that. Go ahead. I'm giving you a lot of information.
No, I just want to clarify something real quick.
Sure.
You just said that CEC and RPS adder
Yep.
is a fee that all municipalities pay?
Everyone,
Every single homeowner pays?
every single person in the
And
state of New York.
this was sent down by the wonderful people in Albany. Would that include, but not limited to, the state legislature and the governor's office?
You know, I don't know who exactly
Can't
makes
confirm that, but it
that.
came from Albany, we know that.
It definitely.
God,
Is that where it goes?
No, it's gonna go pay, it's gonna go
I can send
offset
you a
the
lot of
expenses to
information.
close Indian Point. We're paying to offset expenses to close Indian Point.
Well, we basically, you know, the renewable energy credit
Right.
and this zero, you know, renewable standard is a 30, well, it's supposed to be in place by 2030 to, you know, it's called the Clean Energy Act, basically.
Is there a list of everything that this is combined with? Where is everything that's consistent?
Well, she reviewed, for sure, she reviewed I call it inventory, but you got Orange and Rockland bills. There's not one Orange and Rockland bill.
There's
We get a
15.
lot of Orange and Rockland
Yeah.
bills, each building, yada, yada,
Right.
which is down in the village hall, and that's what you reviewed.
Yes, I did it 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago maybe, and I sent it all to the village clerk for her review, and so you
That
get,
was with the prior.
no, I just did
With
it
this-
again.
Oh,
I
okay.
just did it
But I mean,
again.
last time you said.
Yeah, yes. Initially, you know, because it's beneficial for you to pool all your energy together. It doesn't make sense to log in 3 accounts, and, I mean, the more volume, the better the rate. And so, like, you have street lighting.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the street lighting.
Yeah,
Does
the
that
street-
include that?
Yes, and
That's
street
nice.
lighting helps bring down the weighted average because the street lighting is being utilized at a time that, you know, it burns at night when everything else is off, so it prices low, and it helps to bring down the buildings that price higher. So you get a weighted average of your 15 accounts. So I have a listing of all the accounts if you need it. You know, I have it all in spreadsheets, and I can email you anything that you need to see. But this is all the accounts that, and it has been confirmed by someone in the last few weeks that these are the 15 accounts that the Village of Highland Falls is responsible for. Town Highlands has a whole separate, you know, a whole separate, believe it or not, I think that, I'm not sure if you use more, but it's close.
So, is it, 2 questions, is an issue with the bill we call Energy Resource or Orange and Rockland?
You can call me.
Okay, there's,
I'd be happy to help you. I mean, I know people, if you call O&R, you're gonna get the customer service line, and you're gonna be on hold for an hour. But, you know, I would be able to email somebody there and probably get you an answer a little bit quicker.
So this proposed rate, that includes the CEC
Yes.
and the RSP? That's
Yes.
already in
That's
this?
what, you know,
For
so
the
this,
25 months? All the way over here?
right, yeah, it basically, you know, it includes, that's why I this billing, I know it's a little bit confusing if you're looking at this for the first time.
Okay.
I tried to
That's
make
why I
it
was
as
just
clear.
wondering, if that rate was included in that.
Yes, that includes it, which, you know, is important to people. They want to know that,
Absolutely.
Listen, $8,500 is nice
Yeah.
savings.
yeah.
That's a nice amount.
I
That's
agree.
good.
Yes, it's annually, so
So you'll
it
save
would actually be like
Almost
17,000 over, if you did the 25 months. The only reason why I'm suggesting 25 months, and you could do the 36 months, there's a few variables. 1 year is very short, and then you have to revisit this again. And the 1 year price and the 25, or the 13-month versus the 25 is very minimal. The jump up on the 36 is the unknown of closing in the employment. So that, they're putting a premium in now because the supply companies don't know what's going to happen. If you feel like you're nervous about that and you want to go out 36 months, you know, it's really your decision. I don't like to pay a premium for anything that's unknown. Like, no one knows what's going to happen from 25 to 36.
These are locked in prices, right?
These are locked in.
So over in the Middle East right now, they're starting to lob each other. That won't affect this.
Absolutely.
It'll affect the gas pump down the street, but it won't affect this.
Exactly, which is why you fix the price. Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it's beneficial for you to fix a price, plus these prices, I mean, I know, you know, you don't have a history. These are very low. 5 cents a kilowatt hour is unusual. I mean, as I said, when I first came to look at the bills,
You okay?
I have bills from
You gotta
2012.
get the sheet from her.
That 256 really does add up.
We got pension.
You said 5 cents, that's fine.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
okay. I'm just
Yeah, no, you're right.
trying to lighten it up.
It does.
It
add
does
up.
add up.
You know, people don't
I guess
realize
the
that, it's a
consolation.
very good point, that when you use a lot of electricity, even a fraction of a cent makes a difference. People think, oh, what's the difference between 5 and 6 cents? It's a big difference.
I agree.
Look at the difference between 6.4 and 5.2 is $8,500.
Yeah.
You need a motion.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor, trustee Livesey, second by trustee DeSalvo. Consolation is who we would like to go with. You just have to state as part of your motion for how long? 25 months? You all right with that, Merge?
25 months.
Oh,
That's what the recommendation is, Michelle? Your recommendation is 25 months.
I mean, I don't like to say one way or the other because I don't know where commodities are going, but yes, I would say that at this point,
No year is too short.
1 year is difficult. I mean, most municipalities don't want to do it because they don't want to
Too
do
much.
this
We need that.
exercise.
We need the 2 years and 1 month.
Yeah.
So that's part of the motion for 25 months by these two gentlemen. Any questions? Any questions? All in favor? Yes.
That starts October 1 or November 1?
It starts, as soon as your old contract ends, which is all your billing cycles in October, it will switch over and begin on your billing. As soon as the billing cycles end in October, this will pick up in October. So it's seamless to you, and it's billed. I requested that it be billed on the O&R bills because I know people don't like to get the dual bills. When I first met the village clerk, you were getting 2 bills. This was, and it was a bit of a nightmare. It's an administrative nightmare because you then have to reconcile your Constellation or Direct Energy or whoever you have with your O&R bills, and it's difficult. I don't like doing it, and I look at these all the time.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I have the agreement. Do you want to sign it?
Well, let me see what it is first. I have to let my attorney
Yeah,
Would you give this to the clerk on your way out?
sure,
And the attorney will look at this for me, and in a day or two I'll sign it.
okay. It is
But I would
time
like-
sensitive, so just so you know.
Well, do I have a day or two? Do I have a day?
You have a day.
Jeez.
I can't promise because I've made that mistake before and I've gotten into trouble.
We'll do this fast, we have a good attorney, so we'll do as fast as
Yeah.
we can. Now, I would like a motion, after review by the village attorney, that I be authorized to sign the consolation agreement.
Motion.
Second.
You have that, Gina?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Give this to
Thank
Gina.
you. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to me.
No problem.
I appreciate it. And, off the record, my husband works for Verizon and I will mention,
We have a poll down here, there's, Verizon is on it, well, Verizon is on it, and, Spectrum is on it.
right from
I don't think he wants you to take it. I have the numbers on my desk. You know, there's two numbers on every poll.
Yes.
I have the numbers. No problem. He's somebody.
Somebody.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd be able to say something, I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I would definitely, I'm gonna do my, oh, you have an email, so email me his information and I'll log him. I get better results than some. Anyway,
Thank you.
you're welcome, thank you. Hi, oh, good, thank you so much. Oh, sure. You want oh, sure. Oh, yes, yes. So this was the big, these results. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure, you know, what exactly. So,
Chief, would you please bring up the, okay, so I want to introduce to the public at this meeting, and we'll do it other times, but Chief had canvassed the Orange County list, which is what we have to do to fill a position within the Island Falls Police Department. He sent out many letters, as he has to, and received a lot of inquiries back, and took days to do interviews. And I know that Sergeant Torpy was in on the interviews. Anyone else? Police Commissioner. And so tonight we present to the public Selim Agat. Selim Agat, listen. And Raquel Vogel.
Correct.
You are both being asked to join the Highland Falls Police Department. Become highly recommended from outside the community. Now look from within the within the department. I would like to do these motions separately, and I would like us to do Selim first. And both are starting step 1 per the contract. Both are full-time, and a maximum probation of 78 weeks.
So moved, Councilman.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, seconded by trustee Ramus, to bring on Selim, step 1 into the Highland Falls Police Department with a maximum probation of 78 weeks. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I would like to have a motion to bring in Raquel Vogel on the same conditions, step 1, 78-week maximum probation. Motion by trustee Howard and seconded by trustee Lindsay. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. You're welcome. Sir? Thank you very much. Chief, thanks for the work. Sir, thank you. How can I help you? Okay, next on the agenda is a resolution. It's a seeker resolution for a bond resolution for the $185,000 dollars. You have it in front of you. If you would take a moment to read it. It's part of the borrowing process that we need this resolution adopted tonight. So take a moment and read it. And again, it's for the drainage issues we have on Schneider Avenue. When one or two of you are ready, if you can make a motion, it would be appropriate.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
You have that, Gina?
Yes.
May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor DiNapoli?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is a resolution for Schneider Avenue Drainage Project. Bond resolution of the Village of Highland Falls, New York, adopted September the 17th, 2019, authorizing the construction of various drainage improvements on Schneider Avenue in the village, stating that the estimate maximum cost thereof is $185,000, appropriating said amount for such purpose, and authorizing the issuance of bonds in the principal amount of $185,000 to finance said appropriations. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus, may I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor DiNapoli?
Aye. Motion carries, thank you so much. Next, we have a resolution amending the administrative fees for violations of the property maintenance law. As many of you know, and tonight, which I'm glad we don't, there's no property maintenance issues on the agenda. But when there is, not only does the homeowner, property owner have to pay the contractor to remedy the situation, but there's also a $300 charge, administrative fee, and we're raising it to $400. Whereas the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees finds and determines that the administrative cost of prosecuting violations of property maintenance law be increased, maintenance law has increased, and whereas the cost of enforcing compliance with the property maintenance law should be borne by those individuals who violated and failed to remedy said violations, and not by those residents of the village who choose to keep their properties in good order and abide by the law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees hereby increases the property maintenance administrative fee from $300 to $400 per incident, as authorized by Section 170-7G of the Village Code. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ramus, second by trustee Livesey. May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Yes.
Mayor DiNapoli?
Aye. Thank you so much.
I met with Bruce down at the building. When we get these maintenance, we will have someone go out and look at it before it's been cut. And then we'll have someone look at it again after the work has been done. Only then can any payment be made to a contractor. Which I think makes sense.
We had found that property maintenance was being done by an outside contractor coming in, and he would get paid, and no one was looking at what he did. So that's part of the administrative fee now, why we increase. If we're going to take a man off a job to have him go look at someone's property after the contractor came in and remedied the issue, that homeowner who chose not to cut his grass now has to pay for that. So, thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Okay, next, a resolution Whereas there was a $500 donation has been received from I Donate Goods, which is, I Donate Goods are the green containers. Rite Aid has one, I think Hacienda has one, and where you put clothes that are no longer needed. The company's called Donate Goods. We have a $500 donation from them. Now therefore be it resolved that due to unanticipated revenue from I Donate Goods, Inc., the Board of Trustees approves an amendment to increase the appropriation budget of A2705 gifts and donations and increase the revenue code of A1210-04 mayor's contractual for $500 for the fiscal year 2019-2020. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee DeSalvo, may I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Yes.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye. Motion carries, thank you so much. Next resolution, it's a budget amendment, it's from Central Hudson. Whereas $15,000 has been received from Central Hudson, and whereas the revenue has been designated to offset the cost of street paving. Now therefore be it resolved that due to unanticipated revenue from Central Hudson, the Board of Trustees approves an amendment to increase the revenue code of A2770 miscellaneous income for $15,000 and increase the expense code of A5110-0400 street maintenance contractual for $15,000 for fiscal year 2019 to 2020. May I have a motion? Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus, may I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus? Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye, motion carries. Copy of the $15,000 check is here, and what this is about is that Central Hudson did some digging, not this current digging that's going on, but in other parts of the village a while ago, and from a meeting with Central Hudson, we came to an agreement where they owed us $15,000 for tearing up the road and not putting it back to our standards. So a $15,000 check was given. And now that'll go towards the overall street paving that we're doing. And soon, very, very soon, next month for sure, I will be making a presentation at a village board meeting as to the monies, where the monies are coming from to do all this paving and sidewalks and 7 or 8 side streets and all that we're doing. And I am sure that the public is going to be very, very happy with the presentation. May I have a resolution? I don't have a resolution, but I would like you to, through a motion, pass the standard workday and reporting resolution for elected and appointed officials. This pertains to trustee Ramus and trustee DeSalvo. It's part of the New York retirement system. This has to be approved that will adhere to this form. Correct?
Yes, it reports the amount of time that goes to retirement on behalf of the trustees.
Is there a motion? Motion by trustee Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Handicap spot resolution. Whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized and empowered to make or amend by resolution any rule or regulation for the reasonable control of traffic on the public streets of the village pursuant to section 108-3 of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees as follows. 1, this is a type 2 action under secret. 2, that section 108-71, handicap parking, be amended to include the following. Name of the street, Schneider Avenue. North side. Location, beginning 92 feet from the northeast corner of Schneider Avenue and Center Street and continuing for a distance of 20 feet. Be it further resolved that the foregoing amendment, as contained in this resolution, shall become effective immediately upon publication of same in the official newspaper of the Village of Highland Falls. May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have roll call?
Trustee Alward?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus? Trustee DeSalvo?
Yes.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye, motion carries, thank you. I have another resolution. Whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized and empowered to make or amend by resolution any rule or regulation for the reasonable control of traffic on public streets in the village pursuant to 108-3 of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees as follows. 1, this is a type 2 action under seeker. 2, that section 108-61, Schedule 12, parking prohibited at all times, to amend to include the following: name of the street, Church Street, what side, east side, location, from the intersection of Church Street and Drew Avenue to the intersection of Church Street and Perry Avenue. Be it further resolved that the foregoing amendment, as contained in this resolution, shall become effective immediately upon publication of same in the official newspaper of the Village of Highland Falls. May I have a motion?
I'll move it. I know we had talked about this, and I think it's a good idea because there's been a couple of times where you can't get emergency services from that area. But maybe a local, I don't know, whatever, the 8 homes that touch that section, is there a way we can maybe get a flyer? Maybe I'll talk to Ken, Chief Scott.
That would be good.
Okay. I'll move
Is
it.
it in the second, Brian, right?
Yep.
Brian Howard, seconded. May I have roll call?
Trustee Alward?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Nay.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you so much. Okay, we want to approve, I think, a new member into the Highland Falls Fire Department, Jennifer Costanzo, pending her physical. Have you heard any word since then, Gene? It's still pending physical?
Correct, still pending.
Okay, per the recommendation of Fire Chief Eric Smith, if we can take care of that. Pending her physical. I'll make a motion. Is there a second? Second by Trustee DeSalvo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have 2 events. These are great events. One event is the Halloween parade, and it's the trunk or treat. They want to have it on Halloween, 31st of October, 4:45 in the evening to 7:30 in the evening, from Memorial Park to the municipal parking lot number 2 across the street from Sacred Heart. Everything is here, proper insurance, and so it would be time to approve it.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Ramus. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee DeSalvo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have an event from the James I. O'Neill High School for their homecoming parade. They'd like to have it on October 2. High school parade for homecoming. At 6 o'clock on October 2, 6 to 8, Buffalo Soldiers Field to the municipal parking lot number 2. Insurance and everything has been submitted.
Motion.
Second.
That was a great event last time.
Yep, Trustee Howard and Trustee DeSalvo, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, this is October 2nd. You know, you're on top of everything that's going on here in Main Street. Maybe the day before you guys come, do a extra one that night.
Absolutely. You know, and I'm not saying this to you, because I know you know. You can't do a project like we're doing out here without it taking a length of time. And believe it or not, they're on schedule. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to hold to the schedule. I'm telling you, they're on schedule. And not have issues. You're talking about Main Street. You're talking about stores. You're talking about churches. You're talking about parades.
You're talking about digging up cement right next to a foundation of a building. I mean, I was talking to a couple of these guys today. I mean, it's tricky what they're doing. It's not just like busting it up and pulling it out. You're going, the cement is right up to the building. And there's utility, underground utilities everywhere.
If they know about them. So we're gonna get through this, and then once it's all gone, and the contractors are gone, and you're gonna say, wow, and we'll forget the inconvenience,
We
because
can
that's
also-
what happens.
We can all strut down the new sidewalks.
Okay, so now, at the last minute tonight, you don't have this in your packet, this was given to me, and the only reason I'm putting it on the agenda is because of the request of the time. So this is a bake sale, St. John's AME Zion Church.
Absolutely.
And they want to sell baked goods, they put down sausages. They're hoping to attract football crowd. These must be home games. October 5, October 26, November 9, November 16. They want to do it in the parking lot number 2, across from Sacred Heart. Now, the only thing that they're telling us where they want to go, they're telling us the dates they want to be there, they're telling us who is sponsoring it, but what they don't have here, and they know it, is insurance. So if you care to approve this pending insurance,
Do they have domestic health?
that would be them, not us.
Not us, okay,
Yeah.
just checking.
If the health department showed up and they didn't have a permit, just like for the 4th of July when we have it, they shut you down.
Yeah.
Because that has to be pre, not post.
I didn't know if we had.
No, that's okay. So it's up, would you like to add anything? Okay, I said it, right? That's everything? Okay.
I'll make a motion pending they submit the insurance on time that we approve.
Now,
Second, oh, Jimmy is second. No, you take it. I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have bills and claims for fiscal year 19/2020, $184,486.50.
40 cents.
I'm sorry,
40 cents.
what did I say?
50.
50. I upped it a dime.
Look at that.
Gee whiz, I get in trouble for this. Oh my God. $184,486.40.
Motion, I went, what time was I there? About noon today?
Yes.
I looked at them, I reviewed all the bills.
Okay, motion by trustee Howard.
Yes.
Second by trustee Livesey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I'm going to do my stuff rather quickly. I will tell you that I was taken back by the turnout at the 9/11 event at Memorial Park. I understand that the service in Fort Montgomery was very well attended also, and so I'm glad that those 2 events happened. I could only go to one, so I went to one at Memorial Park, it was a wonderful, wonderful event. The participants, I can't thank them enough, from the West Point Brass Quintet to St. Mark's Choir, to the Junior ROTC, local clergy. It was just wonderful. The garrison commander came down. It was a wonderful ceremony. What it did show me is that there's room for 2 events, because there's that many people attended. So again, thank you. We did receive $2,500 from Homeland Towers. We had sent back the escrow check. They sent us a new escrow check, a little less, which is what we asked for. And so we'll be having a meeting soon with our attorney and the cell tower folks. I met with Congressman Maloney's office last week, and we had a very, very good conversation about many issues within the Village of Highland Falls that they're willing to help with. And then my last comment will be this. some may know, some may not. I always find it amazing that a newspaper will give you the biggest headlines that their printing folks can make when something goes wrong. But when something goes right, it's a rather small print on the back pages. And so when the Article 78 appeared a long time ago, months, years, of course it was headlines. And the village had to fight this Article 78. And the Article 78 was fought in Goshen, and there was a judge, I don't know who the judge was, and he ruled in the village's favor. Well, as the American system is, and right as it should be, the petitioners appeal. And so now this goes on for months and months and months and months. And the appeal finally reached court. And it was heard before 4 judges. 4 judges. Unanimously, they ruled in favor of the village. So now we have 2 rulings, 5 judges. Well, as I said a minute ago, the American system is you can now appeal again. And so the petitioners of Pat Flynn, Kat DeGav, Laura Milsom, and Sharon Guy, who did this, and they had the right to do it, appealed the 4 judges' ruling. So now it goes before 7 judges. 7. All 7 unanimous for the village. So they saw it for what it was. That's 12 judges. How would you like to have that looking at you? 12 judges. It's over. It's finally over. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. The Article 78 brought against the Village of Highland Falls and the police chief is over. Now, the sad news is, what did it cost? I can tell you without any hesitation, this cost us tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Your money, your taxpayers' money, your money, my money. We could have done a lot with that money.
How much is the tens and
No,
tens and tens?
I can't answer questions right now. That's not the way the meetings run.
Oh.
Excuse me?
So I'll ask next time when we
Yeah.
get on the agenda.
It was wrong. That's my opinion. So I'm glad it's over. I'm glad the village won. It hurts me deeply, along with every board member sitting up here, how much we had to spend. And to continue on the spending, before the Article 78 was, what's the word I'm looking for, Gina? Before the Article 78 was received by the village, so pre-Article 78, over $100,000, Mary Ellen, over $100,000 was spent. Mr. Goldberger, who we all know, got most of it. To work up to the Article 78. Now you think about that money. Think about that money. It's over. Lesson learned. Jim, anything?
Nothing, I just wanted to really quick thank Michelle and also the village clerk, Regina Taylor, and the office staff for helping out with the M&R Energy. I was back and forth emails. I know they had to gather some information in the office, but I think it was worthwhile for us to save a few bucks.
Thank you.
Thankful the board supported it.
Thank you, Jim. Jimmy?
Yeah, I got a few things actually. First of all, Mr. Mayor, I seen an email that you sent out, and doing the hard work that you always do with West Point, you contacted them about if they had a use for our millings that we're going to be doing for Main Street. That's great. And they do. That's going to save us a huge cost to dispose of those. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's why I get paid a lot of money to do that.
Haven't said anything. Also, upcoming on September 28th, there is National Celebration of Outdoor Activities Day.
When is it, Jim?
September 28th. And
You know what kind of day that is? I guess
it's going to be a beautiful day.
beautiful day.
It's going to be a beautiful day. So it's a good opportunity for people to give back to the community. I mean, we do a great job with our DPW up at the park. But there's always something to pick up, and I know more when you're over there, you see something on the ground, I know you're picking it up. I've seen you, so I thank you for that. And, you know, it's not only that, but there's other organizations out there. They have trail building. They also restore the riparian areas in some of the streams and things like that. So if you get out there on that day and join one of these organizations, it'd be greatly appreciated. It's not only for us, it's not only for our community, it's for the kids and future generations. Today is September 17th. You know what that is? It's the day of the Constitution. I did send some information up to Dr. Chaboy about this. I'm sure the teachers were informing the students about this important date in history. And I know this has a lot to do with the census that is coming up next year, and the Constitution elaborates on why the census is important. And it was one of Charlie Murphy's, one of the former trustees' pet peeves about the census, because we know we aren't treated fairly in the census here in the village. So if you have an opportunity, you can go to the U.S. Census Bureau website and get some information, and when they do come around for the census count, please take part in it. Another great thing, and I did send this up to Dr. Chaboy, today starts the annual Arbor Day poster contest in artwork, and that's going to run all the way through December 20th for 5th graders, and they can do posters, and they can submit them online, and as far as the artwork submissions, those run through December 31st, and that's for older students as well. Another great program that is run by our leaders up in Albany, and it gets the 5th graders out there. And if any 5th graders do have that urge to get some posters, we would love to see them here at the village board so we can hold them up and showcase them. I think that would go a long way. There's solid waste recycling problems out there. I know it was touched on in the News of the Highlands about recycling in the cardboard. It's not only cardboard, but there's sharps out there that people are finding in the garbage when they're sorting. So I asked, if you have sharps, please dispose of them properly. There's approved drop-off locations. Just don't throw them in your garbage. It's hazardous for the workers that are out there trying to make this a better place for everybody. I got a webinar coming up. It's on September 24th, and it's about water quality modeling. You're going to see, I know you have concern about the stream in, not only in the general area that runs right in the middle of the village, but beyond, and at the top of Mountain Avenue. So I'm going to see what information I can get on that and bring it back to the board. National Preparedness Month is this month. Central Hudson has a lot of good information out there on the website. Just 5 quick suggestions that will help, especially with hurricane season. You can sign up for text messaging from Central Hudson. During this time, it's always a good idea to stock up on some of the essentials. Having flashlights and batteries, things like that, in case the power goes out. If you see any fallen wires, please report them. Don't go near them. They may not look hot, but they are. Every wire on the ground is hot. As we know, there was 2 fatalities, unfortunately, out in Warwick, by 2 contractors working for O&R. So, and those are professionals. So we really need to be careful, stay at least 30 feet away from those, and call 911. Actually call 4911 and then 911. 4911 is going to get our response there the fastest. They have an account also on Facebook and Twitter, if that's your social media platform. And if you have a family, create emergency plans for that. Also, generator safety. When the power goes out, you hear generators come on. Carbon monoxide is lethal. Please, if you have a generator when the power goes out, keep it away from not only the windows in your house, but your neighbor's house. That's what I got tonight.
Thank you very much. Mine's just short, just a couple things. First thing is, I went past the older Kohl's today. I gotta tell you, if you've been into Kohl's for political things like I've been before, a lot of memories looking at that building coming down. Sort of sad in a way, when you look at it. But that brought me to my next thought, and what that is all the work that is being done in the community right now, especially along Main Street. I think the board should now focus it's like laying out a carpet is what we're doing on Main Street. So now we have to straighten up the furniture out there, and I'll say that's the buildings. I think we ought to really think about the signage. Do we want some certain kind of mandated signage on stores and businesses that go up in the community where they're sort of reflected towards whatever it should be?
Uniform.
Absolutely uniform, and the buildings as they start. So if a new business owner should actually come in, which there are some businesses, that this is the uniform type of signage that we require in the village now. And I think that would probably be a smart step for us to start moving forward on. The other thing is I was up by Fagan's Field today. They are definitely digging up there. They're definitely digging, and one thing, if rock was worth money, we would be the richest people in Orange County right here in Allen Falls, because there is a lot of rock here. But anyway, with the drainage that will be going into the brook, that does lift up a little bit of a concern how Wyant will be on the bottom down there, Wyant Green, with the amount of water that will come down from the top down into that section. And as we do know, through a series of heavy rain that we've had in the community, how high that level has been, I think it's something to be discussed. Hey, wait a second now, with that amount of water, how is that going to match up? And that's all there.
And your concern is valid because it has overflown,
Yes,
overrun itself.
yes,
Down at the bottom by the town hall,
yeah,
Lion Green,
right.
etc. So it's not like it can't happen, because
That'll
it
be
did
that'll
happen.
be a lot of work coming down.
Brian?
Schools are open. Newsflash, they're still open. Please stop your speeding.
Oh, yeah.
Kids are getting off the bus, Cousins, Church, Muller, all down through there. People are just zipping up and down the streets. It's not safe for little kids. Please be cautious and be courteous. Thank you.
I would, Mary Ellen, the answer to your question is $29,478.48.
Thank you.
You're most certainly welcome, which I wish I didn't have to spend that money. May I have a motion to go into executive session on union contracts?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Carol, I have actually something nice. Could I do it?
Yes.
I wrote to Gina, but she did send me a reply that I didn't get it. And do I need to stand up there?
Good.
Okay.
Depends on what it does.
It's nothing bad, it's nothing bad at all.
It doesn't matter to me. We're all doing the best we can do.
No.
Everyone's doing the
It's
best they
not.
can do.
I just wanted to update people on some activities that will be going on in December the 7th. Gina said she already put them on the calendar, so just want to make sure we don't have lots of conflicts going on. Vision sponsoring a visit from Santa from around 11 to 1:30. These are all December 7th. Girl Scouts again will be doing the gingerbread houses and their ornaments. Again, Vision helps sponsor that. So I'm guessing that's around 10:30 that morning. And the Friends of the Library are having their annual bake sale. Again, that would be from 10 to 2 unless we sell out. But what I wanted to do was to make a presentation as a Vision board member to Merv, but you'll understand why I cannot show the picture, but to thank him for supporting Vision and helping so much with the success of the Santa Visions. So I will just show you all what we have, and you'll understand why we can't show it on TV. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's not fair.
Well, no, because
That's
our children.
Listen, this guy's the best.
He is the children.
He's the
I
best.
know, we think so too. So thank you so much.
So I will, thank you. That's nice,
That's for
Merv.
Merv.
Great picture. And I will say to you, without knowing a date, that the village will be sponsoring its Christmas lighting ceremony.
Well, we're done by nighttime.
There's one thing about Highland Falls, and I don't remember when I was a kid, but Santa loves Highland Falls. Because in December, if you look to the right, you see Santa Claus. If you look to the left, you see Santa Claus. He's all over the place. He loves Highland Falls.
We're done by 2. So
So,
the night would be great.
I have a motion. We made the motion, Jan? We voted. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.